And we're off.
Yeah, Ash knows that people from the south have a leisurely pace about them. So now that they've started a bit about these runners, BluntBunny on the left has a 124.15, and he's gotten insanely good lately. He cranks out 124s. Often he can run into bad luck in big races, though, and this is definitely the biggest race he's had in this tournament so far. Hopefully he does not get 7 blue balls or more.
Yeah, BluntBunny is notoriously, or it has notoriously bad luck, especially when it comes to blue balls. I think he ran at AGDQ one year and got 7 blue balls, which is pretty awful. And I think he had a tourney race. I think it was one of his first races in this tournament. He had 11 blue balls. So just usually anytime he's in some sort of marathon or race, tournament setting, he gets a ton of blue balls. He just gets bad luck. So keep your fingers crossed for him that he doesn't get bad luck today. Our other runner, TGH, also has a 124. Just recently got a 124, I think within the past week or so. He's a 124.44, which tied Josh here previously, well, Josh's previous PB, I should say. And he had said, you know, he just was tired, 3 hours of sleep, decided to do a run and got a 124. So how that happens, I'll never know, but that's okay. TGH is also, you know, a very prominent runner in other games. You may know him from playing Link's Awakening, if you like that game. I don't know if he still has the record because I don't follow that game too closely, but I know that he did have the record for a while. Also, Celeste is another game that he plays. I'm sure there's more that I just don't know about, but he's just good at games in general.
Yeah, he got good at this game pretty quickly. He started May of last year, so in just a little over a year, he has 124. Not many players can say they have done that one.
Yeah, I remember the days when I was like, haha, you haven't cut me yet. And then that didn't last very long. It was like 2 weeks later, and he was already way better than me, and I was like, all right, I'm done talking.
Very close so far. You wouldn't expect anything different in Escape. These players, Escape is very optimized, and these players are probably getting 552 or better every single time. Usually your time's only going to vary by 2 or 3 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, I guess some spots where there could be a difference in Light World even would be like Landmo, maybe Moldorm, and then Blue Balls, of course. So they'll probably be pretty synced for the entire Light World, I would imagine. So anything exciting you want to tell us about Escape?
Sorry, my computer glitched out and I missed your question.
I said anything interesting you want to tell us about Escape?
Not really. It's kind of the most boring segment. Of course, you have mechanics like wall pumping and stuff that they'll be using. If you want to know what that is, just use the command in chat. Or maybe Greenham will use it. And also Stairlag and stuff. But it's just making use of these little movement optimizations that don't really amount to much in and of themselves, but when you combine them, they add up to a few seconds.
Yeah, unfortunately, BluntBunny there had some unlucky key rat things happening, so he's gotten behind TGH a little bit here. Do you think that BluntBunny is going to skip Sankart?
I actually know that he will get it.
Spoilers, wow.
Yeah, because he said so last night. Ordinarily, he would skip it in every run if he was just doing RTA, but yeah, in this environment, I don't blame him for getting it at all. Significantly increases your survival rate.
Yeah, it's definitely a good item to have. It's one of those things where you don't think it would make much of a difference, but it actually makes a huge difference. And I'm sure we'll point out several times where it's helped out. Even after escape, like if you leave escape with not very many hearts, it's nice because it's nice to grab Saying Heart because you get a heart refill, free heart refill afterwards. So you don't have to do this whole off-drop field in this entire overworld with, you know, like 1 heart or something. So that's one of the first nice things about grabbing Saying Heart.
Yeah, and there are other nice things like throughout the light world, particularly Hera, which can be a very brutal dungeon without it.
TGH having a good skeleton room, and same with BluntBunny. At this level, you probably won't see them screwed up too much. It's one of those rooms that just becomes much easier with time. Although we've all been known to throw a pot the wrong way in that room. So both TGH and Blunt killed the Popo, or Ropa, I can't remember which is which. But anyway, they killed it outside of that door there. And that's just to advance the pack to try to get a rupee drop. And they ideally would want a 20 drop, because that means that they could skip some blue rupees from a blue rupee tree pull. But getting any drops there is nice, because you do need at least 24 rupees going... I guess into the Aga Tower segment. Or sorry, not going there, sorry, by the end of, like, after you pull the Master Sword. That was my bad.
So approaching the end of Eastern here, they will fight the Armos Knights. The goal with the fight, they'll both set it up top right, I'm sure. They'll want to put 2 arrows into the very last Armos. That way they can kill the second to last one and the last one nearly at the same time. And it skips the red phase that would usually happen with this fight. And that you're probably familiar with if you played the game casually. Very good from both of them.
And now we're off to get the boots from the old man over on the east side. And both these runners should be doing tree rupees, so you will not see them go into the back of Sahasrala's hut to get any rupees or bombs. They'll just be leaving. That saves roughly, what is it, 4 seconds over getting Sahasrala's?
Like, 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Right away, wow, Blunt firing off an arrow accidentally.
Maybe it was on purpose.
Maybe. Right away, we see them doing spin speed, where they press dash on the first turn of their spin attack animation and touch stairs. Link can run around really fast.
Yeah, important to note is that you cannot get spin speed if you're facing left or right on a ladder or stairs, because Link actually grabs onto the side of the ladder or stairs, which would cancel the animation. So you need to be facing up or down, and then you also need to come off of the stairs cardinally, so you can't come off diagonally, except in a couple of instances, which we'll explain when we get there. But yeah, so you have to make sure you're coming off cardinally, otherwise it's not going to work.
And that one they executed going to the library is particularly hard.
Yeah, and those 2 spin speeds only save about half a second each, so there's definitely some risk there with them, especially when going to the library, since your movement has to be really good. After you get to spin speed and going up into the library, you have to be able to get in without, you know, kind of moving around too much or nudging the house, or the library. It's not a house, it's a library. Nobody lives there but books. So I think we've got about like maybe a 5 or 6 second difference between the two. Less than 10 seconds anyway.
Definitely not a start Blunt's happy with. Both of them dashing through Desert Palace. Coming up will be the big key section. There's potential for bad RNG here with the cannonballs.
Blunt getting a 20 red rupee drop, and he goes out of his way to grab it. Not a bad decision at all. And he actually got the worst RNG in the cannonball room, so he had to stop his dash momentarily so he didn't faceplant the cannonballs.
Yeah.
That would be bad. TGH over here in this circle of pots room with the BMOs grabbed a pot that had 5 rupees in it. That's kind of the safety pot where if you don't have, I guess it would be at least 4 rupees at this point, then you would want to grab that that pot so that you'll have enough once you get all your tree grabs. And TGH going for Desert 2 spin speed. Pretty risky, but thankfully the menu buffer to the lamp makes it a little bit easier. The big risk there is just jumping off the edge and having to reopen the dungeon and go through the whole thing again, all to save less than a second.
Yeah. It goes to show how optimized this game is, that players are risking like a minute to save 40 frames or whatever it is.
Yeah, and at this level you don't really see anybody I guess mess that up, because they've probably practiced it 100 million times. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but just not likely. Let's hope the landmill practice that TGH was doing before pays off. So TGH, I think, got an early 4 there. Blunts, was that a 3?
Yeah, I think so.
So that really, I guess, may have tightened the gap a little bit between the two.
Yeah.
1703 sword up for TGH and a 1706 sword up for Blunt. So only a few seconds apart now. Pretty good. Very nice fights from both of them, though. That was very clean for the most part.
Yeah, these players are looking to get 4 cycles or less every time, so... Nice fights. Upcoming is fake flippers, where they're going to swim without the flippers.
But how?
Just there to get like a setup to get themselves 1 pixel away from the screen transition. And then they jump into the water and scroll the screen at the same time. And the game doesn't run the check for flippers on the following screen. So they're allowed to swim. Pretty neat.
It's interesting how neat that is.
Yeah.
Alright, so on TGH's side, well, I guess on Blunt's side too, you're going to see them walk by this pit with the old man, and that just helps increase the walking speed a little bit, because the old man is real slow.
Yeah, and it's actually slower to dash with the old man. You don't move any faster and you waste the charge up time. He's the only follower who works that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, actually, that none of the others are like that. It's like a weird little detail, like, oh, this is an old man and he can't run.
Yeah.
It's ageist. Both of them going for quick warps here on Death Mountain. BluntBunny did not get it. I actually didn't notice if TGH did or not. But those quick warps save about half a second each. Some of them are pretty free, and I use that, you know, I don't use that term lightly. So when they're free, they're free. And others are a little bit harder to get. So that second one up on Death Mountain is one of the ones that's a little bit tougher to get. Ooh. BluntBunny getting the boom dash, but unfortunately did not stop on the pegs. You can see that TGH was able to stop on the pegs. Blunt just dashed a little bit too far. But not a big deal. He's just gotta dodge and, well, I guess kill all these tiles in the meantime. But we'll still get the time save that he was looking for. And time save, I believe, comes in the next room.
So this beetle room is pretty tough.
Yeah, we can see right away with TGH having a little bit of trouble. But that's okay, cleans it up nicely. Blunt coming up to our first bomb jump of the game. Not really much to report here. You just have to get near-ish the pit, drop a bomb, and it'll blast you over. Bonking gives you a little bit more leeway of getting over. But yeah.
Well, Blunt getting really bad Dodongo RNG.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And now everyone's favorite boss.
Googly-eyed monster. Wait, was he googly-eyed nuclear hamburger or something? Meanwhile, TGH showing us pics from his vacation. Oh no. That's not what you want to see. When you see him in Moldorm and then you see him back downstairs, you're like, ah. That's
yeah. Yeah.
This is a fierce fight here. Ooh. Who do you think's gonna get hit? Oh no! I didn't like that ending.
Wow.
Man, bad slideshow. Boo.
Dang.
Yeah. So TGH, unfortunately, taking a death to Moldorm. That is an awful place to die.
Yeah, that's definitely a blow. Most boss deaths in this game are particularly bad. So at this point, he's in order to win the race now, he's gonna need Blunt to make an equal or worse mistake.
Maybe Blunt will get 11 blue balls again.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, we don't really know how he died, but I assume it was probably Moldorm hit him. I want to say. Alright, TGH back at it with Moldorm, and he's exploding, so this is good. Good sign. There's the heart. There's the pendant. I wonder who his photographer is.
Excellent slideshow presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. So Blunt is killing 4 enemies without taking any damage, pulling on this tree, getting 4 red rupees, and now he has enough rupees to pay Kiki and get into Palace of Darkness, and that'll be after this this dungeon here that we're going to do, which is Aghanim's Tower. Arguably, probably the best dungeon in the Light World.
Yeah, it's a really tough dungeon too. It's really hard. There are a lot of combat rooms, and some rooms where the randomness can just really frustrate. The second room in the dungeon is notable. The way we do it involves dash killing the two fast knights, and when you do that, the game will never give you a drop from the enemies, and that actually manipulates getting a drop later in the game in a better position. It's a fairy we're manipulating, and if you get it there, it's kind of useless. You're full health anyway. But later in the game, we'll want it in a spot where it's much more useful.
Yeah, TGH just got his 4 red rupees, so he's well on his way. He's gonna have enough rupees to get into Palace of Darkness after he grabs the 6 in Aghanim's Tower, the free 6 that we get in Circle of Pots room. So Blunt coming up on another room here. This is a room where you'd like to have arrows. Makes it go much faster. You can see him utilizing the arrows on those guards there. Kills them pretty quickly. Uses his beams to alert the guards in this room to get them to come to him faster, and he can kill them. Now in Circle of Pots, gets a good RNG with that guard on the right-hand side walking up and down, so he doesn't even see you until you're already ready to get out the door. So very good series of rooms there for Blunt.
Yeah, very good. Very well executed.
Some of the rooms in this dungeon are hard to explain.
Yeah.
Because they go by so quickly, but they're a lot more complex than they look, I guess. There's a lot more to them than just like, oh yeah, beam these guards and then arrow them and da-da-da. You know, there's a lot, you know, with the different RNGs that you get in the rooms and like how to react to them differently. Yeah, it's a lot more complex than it looks.
For sure. Blunt's going to be entering Aghanim, and this is a potential place where TGH can make up some time if he gets slow blue balls and Blunt gets higher blue balls. Anyone in chat who doesn't know, Aghanim's on a cycle. The second, third, and fourth attacks of his cycles are 50-50 between the energy attack that you can hit back to damage him and blue ball, which you cannot. And so they just waste your time. Did Blunt actually have a perfect first cycle?
I did see at least one blue ball.
Oh, okay.
That's at least 2. So unfortunately TGH here, having some trouble in Circle of Pots. There is an RNG that looks similar to one of the bad RNGs where the guard on the right-hand side walks left to right, and in one RNG, when he walks that way, he won't see you, and when he will see you, and I don't know that there's like a super clear way to determine which it is, like if he's gonna see you or not, but if he doesn't see you, then you actually don't have to stun him, you just wait for him to walk by, and then you can throw the 2 pots at the guy in the middle. But if he does see you, then you have to stun him so that you can kill the guy in the middle easily with the pots. Yes, both of these runners did take Sank Heart.
Oh, did Blunt only get 2, or did you get 3? I missed.
Don't think it was 3, but it may have been 3. I actually wasn't counting because I was watching TGH's screen. Alright, getting confirmation from chat that Blunt got 3 blue balls. And TGH will have 3 blue balls.
So it's completely even?
I guess so. He got lucky. Seems to be on a lot of the races that the runners tend to get similar blue ball counts. So it's nice that it happened in this race too, because then you know it's not, you know, one person's winning because of RNG or whatever.
Yeah.
Like one person didn't get like super unlucky and lose a bunch of time just because of that. So it's nice when they both get the same number of blue balls.
So Blunt's in pod. TGH is going to be headed there soon. This is a tough dungeon, in my opinion.
I agree.
The first little bit is just wandering around and collecting small keys until you can get to the big key. And then after you get the big key, we go and do the hammer jump, which is a pretty tough trick, especially when you get down to where you're really trying to do it fast and without any buffering, which is what these players are going to be about at the 124 level.
Yeah, you get 2 free buffers to one to the bombs and one to the mirror, and then after that, any buffers are basically like little time losses. So you want to get as little buffers as possible, and that's, I guess, how you would do the hammer jump quickly.
Yeah. Players might use sword buffering instead if they notice they're a little bit off.
Yeah, so that was really nice from BluntBunny. Didn't have any extra buffers.
Yeah, really good. Really good jump.
Right, and BluntBunny's going to be coming up on mimics shortly here. First, he's going to push a statue onto a switch. There is a small way that you can optimize this, but I don't know how to do it, but he did it, so that's all that matters. We call that sexy statue.
If you start pushing the statue from the right positions, then you can come around the corner while still pushing it. Saves a surprising amount of time, like a third of a second or so. Maybe even half.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Alright, TGH has his big key and he's going to be off to do his hammer jump. Hopefully he has a good hammer jump like BluntBunny had.
Blunt's headed into the basement here. One of these rooms is the turtle room. This is notorious for how bad its design is. Sometimes the turtles will just wander away from you. But he has a good one. Also looks like TGH had a really nice hammer jump as well.
Yeah, he did. So Blunt is fighting Helmasaur. This fight can be pretty difficult. He has 3 different attacks he can do. One where he whips his tail, one where he charges at you, and one where he throws out fireballs. He barely did any of them for Blunt there. So that was a really nice fight, really quick.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So in the beginning of the fight, you notice Blunt was just hitting the mask off with the hammers without having his sword charged. And that saves quite a bit of lag on this fight, but is a bit more dangerous because holding your sword out while you're hammering Helmasaur's mask extends the hitbox of the hammer, so it makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to get as close to Helmasaur when you're hitting him. It also just helps you to kind of like maintain your position, like you're like with the hammer hits without having your sword out, you're getting knocked back and you have to keep facing back up to hit him and stuff. So just gives you a little bit more control to hold your sword out. But somebody like Blunt doesn't need to do that, I guess, because he's good at the game or whatever. But you know,
Helmasaur's a tough fight. I feel like most good players would put him in their top 5. Just because it's really tough to consistently do it quickly.
Alright, TGH onto Helmasaur, doing the same strategy as Blunt here. Just using the hammer hits. Let's see if his Helmasaur is as friendly. Yeah, I mean, very friendly Helmasaur. So that's nice for both of them. Pretty good fights.
Yeah. It's a 50% chance that he spits a fireball, and he has 2 opportunities to do so. So pretty good luck that neither of the runners had to deal with it.
So Blunt's going to try to set up another quick warp here. And does not get it. That's okay. First try dig. Makes up for it. Not really.
Yeah, not really. First try dig is actually free, if you didn't know.
It's actually not, but that's okay.
Getting it in fewer than 5 digs, though. Can we at least admit that that's free?
No. You cannot.
No.
If it's happened, it's not free.
Okay.
Remember that time that Blunt said that dashing to the bird after ether is free, and I said, no, it's not free? And I got him to admit that, okay, yeah, it's not free. Yeah. Same situation.
This is why this strategy... Oh, I was behind a little bit. Wow. I don't like that spin speed after the bird at all. No one's that consistent with spin speed. Come on now. Come on, Blunt.
Come on.
Drop that stuff.
Quit that.
No, but that strategy says 10 frames. And once again, that's just a sign of how optimized the game is, that the players are going for that kind of thing.
Yeah, we notice Blunt opening up Thieves Town as far left as possible, and that just ensures that when he rolls back, he actually hits, I guess, the side of whatever that is around Thieves, so he doesn't actually roll back too far and have to, you know, dash further up to get into the dungeon.
Yeah, that can actually be kind of important sometimes, because there's like a they're like Poes wandering around the village of outcasts, and there's an RNG where if you pull that Thieves Town pitchfork from the middle, you will get recoiled into the Poe, which is a frustrating experience, to say the least.
Which Poe is it?
It's just a Poe sitting below you.
Is it Edgar Allan, or is it the Teletubby?
Oh my gosh. What did Mutsky call them? In I think you two did commentary once, and he called them something ridiculous.
I don't know.
I wish I could remember.
I don't listen to him half the time, honestly. I'm just kidding. Oh, Ghosty Woasties, yeah.
Yeah,
That
it was
it.
Ghosty Woasty, yeah. You don't want to get hit by the Ghosty Woasties.
Yeah, I remember that now. Alright. They both have a lot of bombs for this point in the game.
Especially TGH.
Yeah.
Part of that was dying in Hera and being able to collect some extra bombs and not use any more going to having to do the Moon Pearl jump again or anything. Usually when you die to Moldorm, you can get 2 for free just on the way back up.
And Blood actually grabbed an extra bomb in Thieves in the conveyor toilet room.
Yeah, that might just be a bit of safety.
Yeah.
Bit of
muscle memory
precaution. Yeah. I don't know if if he has a stream open or not, but if he does, I would imagine he's gonna play a bit conservatively, knowing how far ahead of TGH he is. So maybe that plays into some of his item routing decisions.
Yeah, Blunt's been playing pretty well in the Dark World so far, so hopefully he can keep that up.
Yeah. We have Blind, which is probably right there with Trinex in terms of easiest Dark World fight, especially for top players. It's basically on rails.
You say that as he gets hit.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
Yeah.
It's still didn't lose that much time though. Really, you can lose a lot more to some of the other bosses.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, we've said it before, but we'll say it again. The Blind is a scripted fight, so as soon as you learn a script, I mean, it's just easy from there every time. It does the same thing every time. So top players have learned the script, they know what to do and how to move and how to manipulate the boss to do the same thing every time. So, easy peasy. Ooh, TGH getting hit on the conveyor by a jelly. That actually went better than it could have because he could have been knocked off the conveyor, which would have been pretty terrible. And he should have no problem with Blind Tier either. He's also a top runner who knows what he's doing and should be able to get this scripted fight, no problem. Right, so Blunt is going to drop off this frog who in the light world turns into a blacksmith, bring him home, and gonna do a little bit of weird stuff here. Leave the house, go back in the house, talk to the blacksmith, say, hey, yes, please temper my sword for 10 rupees. Sure thing. During those text boxes as well, Blunt's holding down. That just pushes them like a frame, I think, each, or a pixel each time down. So it's small time save, small, like, little improvement.
Yeah.
There. Can be a little bit risky though, because if you say no, like if you accidentally
yeah, that's not good.
Move down and say no, yeah. That's not good. And Blunt, oh, canceling fence dash. He must have known he wasn't gonna get it. Can you explain fence dash?
You hit left and A.
Thanks, Helpasaur.
No, you just enter the screen, hit left and A, at the same time. Has to be at the same time. And then you keep A held and just face up. And that's it. Sounds pretty simple. Hitting two buttons at the same time in a 60 frame per second game can be deceptively tricky, though, especially when you're doing it with two different hands, like you have to do with hitting D-pad and face button.
Yeah, Blunt getting the bomb jump pretty nicely. Falling in this pit so that he has iframes when he leaves this part of the dungeon, so he can just walk right through that ropa. Yeah, it's pretty good. Gets a bee and a fairy. But neither of them touch him. TGH getting fence dash. Whoa.
Whoa, ho, ho! I guess he's won the race now.
I guess. Well, it was fun, guys, but it's over. Alright, so we're gonna see this mummy hellway here from Blunt. This is the optimal way to do this room. Pretty difficult, though. He makes it look a lot easier than it actually is. Joe D'Amelio, though, has a pretty good strat that's just a little bit slower, but is much more consistent, in my opinion. But yeah, somebody like Blunt doesn't need that kind of strat, I guess. I guess he's good at the game and whatever. Oh boy. So Josh, how would you rate that moth fight on a scale of 1 to 10?
Not good.
There are 6 spikes missing.
Yeah,
I guess that means
that's like a 4 out of 10.
That's a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have been better.
Had a rough fight there. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. That's okay. Not the end of the world. Yeah, maybe Blunt needs to watch your tutorial with
yeah, apparently he does. Did that ever get fixed? Or is it still like completely messed up? Oh,
no,
okay.
it's not as bad anymore, but it's still not great. It can't detect your southern accent very well.
Wow.
Ooh, TGH getting hit by a mummy there. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too much in the rest of the dungeon. We see Blunt, or if we heard Blunt, I should say, use the flute while he transitioned the screen, and that's just gonna set something up so that he can do the second room of ice, or the first room of ice, quicker than usual. You could probably explain all that better than I can, because I don't know the science behind it. TGH having a lot of trouble on moth here. Because I'm bad at science. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. Oh man, it's not the worst death though. It's very quick to get back to moth. In fact, it's probably the best death in the Dark World among bosses.
The biggest downside is the mummy room again, because you don't have as much magic. So oof. May have to kill some Gibdos here and hope for a magic drop. Ooh, almost got grabbed by the hand. He may not have enough time, to get out there because the bottom torch. Now he's gonna farm for more magic and try this again. With the lamp this time. Smart decision. I have a clip similar to this when I was not as good at the game, where I got stuck in that room for quite a while.
Yeah. Does manage to take Moth down the second time. Blunt's going to be headed to Ice Palace. First, he's got to get through the screen that we have colorful names for, about how small this Warp's hitbox is. That whirlpool is deceptively tricky to hit. In this first room of ice, he'll be using what he set up earlier with calling the bird in a seemingly random spot. You're able to shoot that fire rod much quicker at that freezer if you do that. And this is because the fire rod uses what is called the altitude variable to determine its the location of its splash damage. And the altitude variable actually isn't... The game doesn't do a very good job of resetting it. Well, actually, I guess it does tend to do a very good job of it. Most items do reset it. The fire rod is an exception, though. It doesn't reset it. So, the entire reason he called the bird earlier was just to reset the altitude variable so that fire rod shot works better.
Science.
Science! Later, we'll actually be manipulating it so that the splash damage is very disconnected from where the fire rod is visually hitting. It'll be some fun times in Mire. Blunt getting IPBJ, Ice Palace Bomb Jump. That is a massive trick. Skips half the dungeon, pretty much.
Yeah, it's definitely the most important bomb jump to learn in this game. It's kind of the one that you need to do when you learn the game, because otherwise you're going to be doing Ice Palace, all of Ice Palace, and who wants that? Nobody.
Nobody. You do not want to be doing all of Ice Palace.
No, it's very long and winding. A lot of back and forth. Alright, so you've got Cold Stare coming up here, and the runners are going to need a full magic bar in order to get the ice that is encased over Cold Stare to melt. So you gotta make sure you come in here with full magic. Blunt's going to do a spin and then do some poke dashes, unfortunately missing one of them, so he abandoned it, which is a good call. Doesn't want to get hit by any of these puffs because they do 4 hearts of damage, I think. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, they do.
And the falling ice is 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2.
2. Okay. Yeah, because the big chest item in this dungeon is the blue mail, so the game must assume that you have that, and with the blue mail, it does a lot less damage than green mail. But we don't need blue mail because we're good at the game.
Yeah.
And also it's slow to get blue mail, even though it's the coolest mail in the game. But that's okay. So yeah, Cold Stare does actually quite a bit of damage. It's actually half of the damage that Ganon does when you walk into him.
Even though Blunt messed that up, he was never in a particularly precarious position since he didn't take any damage. Fight only gets really scary when you start, when you like mess it up in a way that gets you hit.
All right, BluntBunny off to Swamp Palace. He actually likes Swamp Palace, which a lot of people don't.
I like it.
Okay, see you later. I'm doing this on my own now. Bye.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so Blunt and Josh like Swamp Palace, but most people don't. And anybody who says that they like Ice or Swamp Palace is gonna get banned.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I have literally no power, so. No, it's just there's a lot of RNG in Swamp Palace that you have to react to, and yeah, it can be pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's actually a deceptively challenging dungeon. It's kind of like sandwiched among a lot of really high stress dungeons in Ice Palace and Misery Mire, where there's a big chance to die potentially, or a lot can go seriously wrong. There's nothing quite like that in Swamp, so it's kind of more relaxed in a way, but it's still hard to do it fast.
So we got TGH coming up on Cold Stare. I assume he's also going to be doing poke dashes. Oh, he actually has the same setup as Blunt. Oh, but he's not doing poke dashes. Ooh, getting hit by Puff. Ooh, getting hit by Falling Ice.
Oh,
we're good. Okay.
Shoutouts
We're
to
good.
iframes, because he totally walked right through that last Puff.
Yes,
At
and
one
tried
point.
to use his magic, and there was no magic. So we got the text box saying, "Yo, bro, you don't have any magic. I can't do this." I'm pretty sure that's what the text box says in the US version. Alright, so what's so good about Swamp Palace?
It's just, I don't know, like...
Changed my mind.
The movement's just fun to me.
That was a bad argument.
Like this room hitting this hammer dash?
That hammer dash is awful. Because if you miss it, like, you're
You
screwed.
lose time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that most hammer dashes?
Yeah, but that one's like especially bad because then the fire snake comes and the Stalfos comes and they're all like, "Hey, I see you. I'm gonna come and get you."
Just don't miss it.
But I'm bad.
I think it does have a few crappier rooms, I will be honest. This room Blunt is in now, your first time in it, and even this time in it, the RNG can just be really frustrating to deal with. I think this part is really fun though, like everything from hookshot until the end.
Yeah, you would.
I think the hookshot room's really fun. Like, first of all, hookshotting that key pod is actually very precise, and there was kind of a setup Blunt did at the beginning of the room to make sure he got the hookshot to it.
See, I've got a hard time slashing my sword and keeping it held out and then charging up a dash
Oh yeah.
to not get hit by that water bubble, whatever it is.
Kyamaron?
Water bubble.
The Kyamaron?
Water bubble.
The Kyamaron?
Water bubble.
Kyamaron.
I swear to God.
I went full Super Scudge there, using official enemy names.
Yeah. Water buffalo. There you go. Ooh, Blunt having a nice Phelps room. Swimming right on by.
Yeah, that was some Olympic quality swimming.
Do you want to explain Zero Cycle?
Okay, so he dashes in the room and holds the sword out, and then he does a hook dash, which is just Y&A, at the same time, while still holding a sword out. And that puts him in a state where he's able to repeatedly hook those puffs in and kill them instantly. It's a pretty tough strategy to execute, especially consistently. Like, the technique is hard, first of all. If you hookshot too early or too late for any one of the puffs, you'll just drop it. You know, there's a pretty tight frame window on each hookshot. And then, additionally, the order you kill the puffs in matters a lot. You want it to where, when Argus gets to the bottom of the room, all the puffs that would be at the bottom of Argus are dead. Otherwise, you'll get hit out of it, or...
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally knew that.
Yeah.
Alright, so Blunt's gonna be going to get his Ether and Ice Rod. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Oh, nice map. Shout out to D-Rock.
You'll see him try to do sword climbs on these ladders, especially long ladder. It saves a lot of time. And he got it there. He's just holding B and hitting Y and A to do a hook dash. Allows you to climb that ladder very quickly. That's actually the entire reason why it's faster to come get Ether after Swamp. However, it's still not much faster. It's less than a second faster.
Yeah, so if you miss the spin speed or the sword climb, or if you get hit and try to farm for hearts or fairies, you've already lost time. So, yeah. It's just like another one of those, you know, risk-reward things that a lot of top players will more than likely go for the risk in order to get the reward.
TGH also going for the Zero Cycle?
Yeah, unfortunately getting hit by Argus and ended up dropping it. He's also menuing to the Fire Rod as Argus ascends. That saves a little bit of time because Argus continues to ascend while you're in the menu. So you don't have to wait any extra time for that. You could probably explain that better than I did because you were the one who found that, so.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You
okay.
Just pause late in the ascent, and yeah. You could say it's up to 17 frames.
That's a lot of frames.
Whoa!
So I guess we didn't explain it when it happened. One did set up the thing we were talking about earlier. The spooky tech, as we like to call it. And the way that he did that is when he fluted to 6, he lifted up the rock and entered from the bottom. And that just ensured that the bird flew off the screen high enough to, you know, set all this up. It does something. Science.
Yeah, the bird flying off the screen high sets the altitude variable I was mentioning in the game at a pretty high value. And like I said, the Fire Rod uses the altitude variable to determine its splash damage location. And you're about to see that the splash damage can be very disconnected from where the fire rod is actually hitting when Blunt gets in the basement.
Ooh, TGH getting squirrel blocked.
Oh,
Death
that's
Mountain.
frustrating.
He's fluting away and resetting the screen. Try that again. Much better the second time. So Blunt having a 105 torch this time bodes pretty well for him. He could probably get like a 125 and maybe even a 124 with this run. If he plays really well.
Yeah, if in-game is exceptional, he can get a 124 still, probably.
But even still, a 125 in a tourney race is a very, very good time.
Definitely. Blunt's been taking it safe, man. Not going for Spark Gamble there. He did something else pretty safe earlier in the dungeon too. He went for Safe Mire too. Like, those are things he definitely wouldn't be doing. In an RTA, he'd be going all out. But he's scaling some things back. Wants to really protect this lead he has. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Interesting thing in the basement here, in this first room, he's gonna dash to kick up some dust before laying the cane block. And the cane block is one of those items that resets the altitude variable, which we don't want. We have it set to a value we really like. But doing that dash places that cane block in a different sprite slot, so it doesn't matter. But here's where the crazy stuff starts to happen. He was able to hit a switch just off camera with that shot there. He'll be able to hit a switch in a different room with that shot there. He'll be able to hit the switch at the top of the room by shooting the left side of this torch.
Craziness. And all of that, ideally, if it's all done well, would save about 11 seconds.
Yeah.
The only thing with this new spooky Mire tech is that the cutscene at the end of the dungeon is about a second longer just because of the magic refill is a lot bigger than it used to be.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's nothing compared to what it saves, so definitely worth going for, worth learning. And it's not as hard as it looks.
Yeah, it's really not.
Does it look hard? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it is harder than it looks, because it looks like you're just like throwing your fire rod here and there and then you're good. But it's a little bit more complicated than just that. Alright, Blunt making his way over to Turtle Rock. First we have to climb Death Mountain once again for the last time in the run. This one's a little bit more fun. We'll see if he goes for the Waffle House drive-thru. Nope, not gonna do it. That's okay. Waffle House drive-thru saves about 1 second over not doing it.
Yeah. I think Blunt's kind of recently not been doing it much. And with how conservative he's been playing in this race after opening up the lead, I'm not too surprised to see him skip out on it.
Yeah. TGH setting up his spooky Mire tech here. Hopefully he gets all the rooms the way he wants them. that one. Second one's good, and then this third one's pretty simple, so you shouldn't miss it. Unless you fire rods the wrong way, which I definitely haven't done.
Definitely haven't?
No, totally not.
Oh, okay.
Didn't happen. Alright, so BluntBunny in Turtle Rock. This dungeon hits hard, but that is pretty complicated actually, but is pretty fun, I think.
I think so too.
You do take some intentional damage. First will be right here when you hook shot off this platform. And then in the next room as well, when he's coming back, he will take some more damage from the roller in order to leave the room quickly. Executed that very nicely.
Yeah,
those rollers do they only do 3 hearts of damage? They do 3 hearts
yeah,
of damage.
They do 3, yeah.
Yeah. So this is why earlier, I think in Aghanim's Tower, we had said that, you know, we dashed through some guards in order to not have them drop a fairy. And this is why, because we want the fairy to drop here in Turtle Rock. And that's mainly because, well, things hit hard in Turtle Rock and we take some intentional damage. And it's just a good place to farm for the fairy.
Yeah. And not only is it safer, which is nice, just to have more health in Turtle Rock where things hit hard, but sword beams also save you time. And if Blunt gets his fairy here, he'll have sword beams.
So this Pokey room here, called Pokey 1, has 4 different RNGs. Blunt gets one of the easier ones. Gotta be careful of that laser going through the door. They do 4 hearts of damage. And coming up next will be Pokey 2. And I'm sure we've said it before, but Blunt has memorized every single RNG in that room. There are 16 different Pokey 2 RNGs, and he knows the best way to do all of them. He actually has made a video that's on his YouTube channel if you're ever curious about checking it out. Shows the optimal strats, and then I guess like just not optimal but still good strats for each of the Pokies. Very nice. And he's gonna go back and get his fairy and his magic. It's unfortunate when they both drop in Pokey 2 and then they drop far away from where you need to be going.
Yeah. He definitely lost some time going back for the fairy there, but, you know, once again, he really wants to protect the sleet he has.
Yeah, and it's nice having beams in this room here. Normally you'd have to lay down a cane block and hit the crystal switch with that, but with beams it's much easier and faster. Next up, Blunt's going to be doing the laser skip, which I'm not really sure which strategy he's going to use here. I assume maybe a safer one. Nope. Why? Save everything except laser skip.
Yeah. Although, like, so I do fast laser skip now, and I've been switched over to doing it for a while. But in a recent run, I was like, no, I'm going to do it safe, because I was scared. But then ended up messing it up way worse than if I just kind of messed up the fast way. So
yeah, sometimes it's better just to stick with what you know, and
yeah.
if you've been practicing fast laser skip all the time, then it's probably better just to stick with a fast laser skip versus reverting back to something that you don't know as well anymore. So yeah. TGH unfortunately not able to get the damage boost out of the roller room like he would have wanted, like we saw Blunt do. He was just a little bit slow on going up to the chest, So that made it so that he wasn't able to dash out. And getting some bad RNG from Chomps here. He's gonna place... Oh, and one of the Chomps ate his block there, so that's unfortunate. But makes it out okay. Doesn't take any damage, which is actually really good and pretty important. Right, TGH getting another one of the good, or the not so hard Poke 1 RNGs.
I like how your definition of good Pokemon is completely different from mine.
I mean, it's not good, but it's not the worst. Like, that one's a pretty easy one, because you can kill them right by the door, you get your drops right by the door, and then you just walk out the door. Like,
yeah, but it's slow.
But it's easy.
But it's slow.
Right, but it's only slow if you know how to do the other ones that are more difficult really well. Because if you're getting bunnied or getting hit or lasered, whatever, I mean... Just saying.
Yeah. Down left can be pretty tricky for sure to do fast.
Alright, so you have Blunt and Ganon's Tower, arguably the best
Inarguably.
dungeon. Best dungeon in the game. It's just a series of pretty difficult rooms to execute, but they're all pretty fun.
Yeah. The game definitely does a good job of really, you know, putting everything together in Ganon's Tower. Pretty much all the items are used in fun ways. A lot of tricky combat and just some really nice challenging rooms. One of the combat features is all the light roll bosses need to be fought again with a new twist. With Armos, it's that they're on ice.
Well, coming to an arena near you.
Disney presents.
Get your tickets now. Fun for the whole family. It's really not. Don't lie to your family like that. It's not fun. Alright, so Blunt able to have beams in this room. He can do a small optimization right there with the menu. He's able to, I guess, push the block for less time. I don't know if that's a good explanation of that. But he buffers the block push with the menu buffer. Saves a small amount of time. And, oh, Blunt canceling out and Ganon Ball Z here. There's a few RNGs where you can, well, I guess, can you dash through all of them?
You can dash through all of them, but some of them are kind of tricky to get through.
I wouldn't know because I don't do it, so.
Yeah, it's pretty tough strategy.
Yeah, so Blunt deciding to kill that horse head with the fire rod since it got away from him. And then he picked up a magic pot in Gauntlet 3, and that's just to ensure that he's got enough magic for Land Mode 2 and then post Land Mode 2 as well.
Yeah, the magic route here with the Tempered Sword strategies is pretty tight in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, unfortunately, he missed a couple of shots there. But he's actually still okay on magic, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter. Alright. Oh, I was just gonna say, you know, you did this torch room well if you can get past that fire bar without getting hit, but then he got hit. So
might want to be careful. Okay.
Yeah. You can actually soft lock in the, I guess, that room that Josh was saying you might want to be careful. If you enter the stairs at the same time, you hear the jingle of like the door opening / closing. Then you can despawn all the sprites in Ganon's Tower, which means that you need to reset. Not reset, but like mirror out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to ascend all of Ganon's Tower again. Doing everything over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always pretty nervous myself when I mess up the first torches room. Because if you do it fast, then it's no big deal. You know you're not gonna get a despawn, but if you're a little bit slow, there's a chance. I'm personally always very wary of that. Like if he had despawned there, it's basically just about tied. That's how much time it loses.
Yeah. Another fight that BluntBunny is good at, but he doesn't think he's good at, is Agatu. There's a nice 3-cycle there. He did like a kind of mini tutorial on the Agatu fight. It's on his Twitch page. He did like a whole stream of just like Zelda 3 knowledge dump and just basically went over a lot of things that he knows that people tend to mess up. And Agatu is one of them. So if you're ever interested, you should definitely check out his Twitch for those things. They might actually be in Helposaur.
Yeah, I think they are. Once moving on to Ganon, the final challenge. And it's a pretty tough fight, actually. First thing he's going to want to do is get what we call the 1-in-1, where we one-cycle both of these first two phases. And it looks like he has gotten it. Oh no, TGH.
TGH taking a death. That is actually really unfortunate.
I missed where it was he died.
Yeah, I actually missed it too. So I was watching Blunt's Ganon fight.
That's a real shame. Props to him for continuing, though.
Yeah.
It's not easy to continue after a Ganon's Tower death. So having a lot of trouble there again. Down to 4 hearts, man.
Oh, Gauntlet 3 is where he died. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. And having to do all that again, like mimics and the Gauntlet all over again, is not fun. It's definitely very, very annoying.
He thought about going for that heart. Meanwhile, Blunt finishes up the Ganon fight. He's going to be finishing with a 125, 20 something.
Yeah, very nice run from Blunt. So GG.
Yeah, GG's to Blunt. He will be moving on to the finals to face me.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
No need to even race Andy. You're just moving on.
Meanwhile, TGH will be actually still playing another game. He will be in the bronze match versus Andy. So, yeah. We'll probably be able to get Blunt in for a little bit of an interview.
Yeah, we should be able to.
Also, I'm kidding about that. Me and Andy haven't played each other yet. That is the other semifinal that will decide who Blunt's opponent is and who TGH's is for the bronze match.
Brawny match.
Brawny match.
Didn't Blunt make a picture of
Yes,
you
he
as
did.
the Brawny?
I was sad because I asked him about it not too long ago, and he didn't have it anymore.
Oh man.
But like, I guess I was in this spell where I was streaming with webcam, which is a bad idea for this reason specifically, is just because your friends make memes using your likeness. But yeah, I wore like a red plaid flannel shirt. What is TGH doing?
He used his medallion and then got knocked off. Oh, maybe he's gonna hover. He made it.
That was nice.
Yeah. Now he's gonna be making his way up to Agatu.
Be looking to finish up the fight cleanly. That was nice. Real big props to TGH for finishing this run. I know it was painful. Everyone has bad runs sometimes, or runs they're not happy with. How it goes. You take a few deaths, and this game is just really brutal. And it has very little capacity for mercy. Cleanly. Real big props to TGH for finishing this run. I know it was painful.
Now you're hearing us twice.
Everyone has bad runs sometimes.
Oops.
Or runs they're not happy with. How it goes.
Someone should switch the
Take
audio.
a few deaths, and this game is just really brutal.
Switch it, as far as I know.
I can just mute my desktop audio.
Has very little capacity for mercy.
I'll deafen myself until...
Now you're hearing us twice.
Oops. Whoa, we have fancy new tools.
As far as I know. Okay, I fixed it.
We might have to message Blunt since he deafened himself.
Yeah, once TGH has finished his fight here, I guess we can chat with Blunt.
He's on the last phase. He has the torch glitch.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, you're fine now.
Yeah, you can.
Hi.
Hi. Nice run.
Thanks. I wasn't paying attention to the stream at all. So I thought I was gonna lose, like the whole race. I didn't realize TGH had a pretty rough, it looks like he had a pretty rough run. Oh, he did the swag, nice.
Yeah,
But-
he had some trouble. He fell in and died to Moldorm, and then died to Moth, and then he died in Gauntlet. So it's pretty rough.
That's rough. I feel so bad. I know those types of runs are like so hard to finish.
Yeah, I actually thought you might have been watching because of how safe you played in spots.
Yeah, I just played safe everywhere. That was like
Yeah.
my strategy because I knew just a safe run would be an easy 124, 125 without a lot of blue balls. TGH is pretty consistent
Nice run.
for the most part. So, well, I guess I'll wait till he gets in here, but I was wondering where he
That
died.
was honestly a tough run to finish. I don't know where you get that idea, Playful, but no. This is live.
Yeah, he took a few deaths, unfortunately. One was to Moldorm. That was the first one, and it was after he'd
It
also
means the
taken a
run is
fall.
being
So it
restreamed
was,
on another
Oh god. Yeah, it was one of those runs.
yeah, it was a pretty big setback, like right away. Unfortunately, yeah.
What?
Then the
Oh.
second one was to Moth,
That's not my fault.
and then the last one was to Gauntlet 3 in Geddon Tower.
Wait, he died in Gauntlet 3 too?
Yeah.
God. That's pretty rough. I did get a gold pod. That was pretty lit. But I feel like every other segment was kind of bad. Ice was actually good until I messed up Cold Stare. Got a little nervous there.
Yeah, you both had hiccups at Cold Stare.
Oh, he did too. Oh no.
Also, what is up, TGH?
Yo, how's it going? Sorry, I wasn't aware I could just join at any time.
What's up, man?
Welcome.
Thanks to wait, but yo, GG Blunt. Nice job, dude.
Thanks.
Good
I'm
luck in the
so
finals.
sorry. I'm so sorry
Oh,
you had to
it's-
finish that run.
It's fine, dude. It was a tough run to finish, but it's fine.
Ugh. That must have been rough. They just told me where you died, so I don't know.
Once you finished, I could swag out a little bit and then the GT and non-canon.
yeah, I
so
saw
it was
the
fine.
hovers.
Yeah. Yeah. Good match, man. Good race.
Thanks. I was definitely nervous going into this one.
I was too.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna get the 123? Or are you gonna wait? I know you got Celeste coming up soon.
Yeah, I'd probably at this point I probably won't touch NMG again until after SUDQ at the very earliest. But yeah, I mean I know I'm capable of it. I just need to work towards it. And
Yeah, you can. I'm confident you'll get a 123 because
same here, man. Like you're
yeah,
obviously like pretty close already.
yeah.
But
It's quite a grind, but I know you're just as much of a grind monkey as me. So
One thing to note, I don't know if you know this, TGH. you're actually not completely eliminated yet. There's still the bronze match.
Yeah, I was actually
yeah.
somebody actually brought that to my attention.
Yeah.
Wait, bronze match. Is that like?
Yeah,
Oh,
the loser of
Yeah.
me and Andy, he plays the loser, and that's third place. Is the winner of that, I guess.
Okay.
So you have to play NMG once more at least.
Great.
Yeah.
My condolences.
I'm sorry.
Just when you thought it was over.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that though. I think in this race it was just a case of it was like a poker game. You know, I was dealt a bad hand, but I didn't really know how to deal with it. I could have made it work, but like Moth, I don't think I've ever seen Moth be that stupid before, and I just like didn't know how to handle it. Moldorm, I got frame rule. I think the stream was choppy at that point. I apologize for any difficulties on my end if there were any, but so just go at Moldorm, I got frame ruled and knocked off like on a dash through. Luckily not in the middle hole, but I went right back, got frame ruled again, got knocked down, and then as I was falling, he killed me in the hole. So
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, so that was it. In case nobody saw what happened, that's what happened.
Wow.
So,
we didn't see the death. That's pretty rough.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a Link to the Past style death for sure, though.
Yeah, it really does.
So awful.
and then I golded pod. I was like, okay, well,
Oh,
if
you
I
golden
stay,
pod too?
yeah, it's like if I stay even with my golds, I'll get a mid 125, and then Moth had something to say about that. So, of course, that's an ambitious goal, but I know I can always improve on my golds. But that was basically my goals were shifting through this race. Like my goals shifted like 5 times.
Was the last goal
until
celebrity?
at the very end, it was just finish the race. Just make sure you finish and don't die again. In GT, which I played awful in GT, I died in GT too.
That's really rough. Like I think a Ganon's Tower death is probably top 3 worst deaths, unless you died at him too, I guess. But
Yeah, I've definitely died in Ganon's Tower before. It's a really tough dungeon and can be really brutal, like if Mimics goes wrong or anything. And it's always just like super hard to motivate yourself to continue if you die in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah.
Like it's awful.
you usually need arrows too, depending on the situation.
Yeah, I had 7 arrows going into Mimics 1 the second time. Luckily got an arrow drop on the second Mimic. But yeah, I was actually short on arrows because apparently I missed the arrow pickup in Swamp. I don't know how. I picked up the pot and like waited there for a second, but the arrows didn't pick up, and I didn't realize until a few rooms later. Yeah, but so I had 15 leaving Swamp, which you want to have at least like I want to have at least like 19, at least. But yeah, so
Generally, 21 is what you want, just so you have 13 after Vidi, and you don't have to grab the. You don't have to.
Yeah,
grab
20. Yeah, 21's like I don't mind having like 1 extra arrow pickup or doing the. I tried to do the strat at Bob's chest to get the arrows. I got the arrows, but I got hit in the meantime. But,
The anti-fairy was just sitting there. Did you
Yeah.
get hit, or did you get like 1.0'd?
I got hit. I picked up the skull too early, and he didn't like bounce off of it like he should have, and I don't know.
What a
The
game!
strat is weird.
That's a tough strat like to do
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
I don't like doing it in runs. I used to do it in runs, and I just dropped it because if you get 1.0'd by the anti-fairy, it's like big trouble for the end.
Yeah,
You know,
for
that
sure.
Magic.
You like half your magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the bottom line for me was, I mean, as for right now, like I need to get better at the game if I want a 123. I just wasn't good enough in this race to deal with what was given me.
Yeah, I'm just, props to you for finishing, because like I said, I know I would have been super salty if I died in Hera or died anywhere. It's just always the worst feeling with this game. I don't know. It's like a bully. Like he just like keeps kicking you down. It's just it doesn't let you get up or anything. You just keeps throwing stuff at you. So it's like a test of patience or something.
Yeah, definitely. This game is just really brutal to speedrun. Very, very brutal.
Yeah, I could see all of us getting 123s hopefully within the year. I would say.
Even Emma?
Yeah, even Emma.
I can't even get within
Josh is gonna put
less than 3 minutes in my summer best, so we're not even talking about it right now.
We'll have 123 boot camp.
Whew. That's gonna
We'll
You
get
and
you
me?
through it. Yeah.
No, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I have a
That's what I
125
said.
summer
That's
best and a
what I said
129
last year,
PB.
so.
Like, what are you doing? How do you expect me to get a 123? I'll get a 123 summer best before I even PB again. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, that would be awesome, actually.
That would be crazy.
It just means one
ACM
day
doesn't
you're
even
gonna
have
PB.
123 some of best yet.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Since the Stone Age. But yeah, GG, TGH.
Thanks, man. You too.
Good luck on your SGDQ race. I'll be watching
Thank
that.
you. Thanks.
It's my boy Yoshi Pro, right?
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be epic. When's your race, Josh?
I think it's gonna be Sunday night. We haven't just picked a specific time yet, though.
So it's gonna be me and you, right?
Yes.
I mean,
You already threw
Andy's the
shade
only
earlier.
125 player left in the top. It was the top 4 here. All of us have 124s. He has a 1.
Andy has a way with getting things to go well in big races. It's his calling card.
Just doesn't play the game, and then he's just gonna bust out a 124 in the race.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's how he got second place in the 4-way NMG race at AGDQ.
Yeah, he definitely slipped past me in that race because my boy Aghanim was looking out for me.
Yeah, I remember he did one practice run that whole week.
I know, and I did like 5, dude.
And I think he reset that one even. Like it didn't finish or something went wrong.
This game is just epic in every way.
It's a great game. Anyway, I think we should wrap it up here. But thank you guys both for the great race. It was definitely a lot of fun to watch. And you're both still in the tournament for now, so it's great we get to see you at least once more. Whoa! Everyone gets a medal.
Thank you guys for commentating as well.
Yeah,
Of course, for
No problem.
everyone involved in
was-
the tournament. Thank you guys for putting this on.
It's been really fun. And that was a really fun race. Get to talk about a lot of high level gameplay stuff. Thank you guys
For
for
sure.
putting on a good show.
No problem. All right, I'm rolling out.
All right. See ya.
See you.
All right, so I guess we don't have any upcoming NMG races yet, since the next one to get scheduled is going to be Josh RTA versus Andy. And then after that, I guess it'll be the loser of that versus TGH, and the winner of that versus BluntBunny. So just keep your eye open on the schedule for more NMG action. It's about to get really, really exciting. Because all the runners are very close in PB, so it'll be a lot of fun. But tonight, if you want more Link to the Past, but you like, everything shuffled up a little bit, you can watch Randomizer on Speed Gaming 3, 4, and 5, and that's happening right now. But I guess that'll do it for us today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had a good time. I had a lot of fun for sure. And thank you, Josh, for commentating with me.
Yeah, it was a fun time. No problem.
And I guess we'll see you guys next time.